Hello Aquarius, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jen with Bohemian Path Tarot, and here we are, December. Let's do your final reading of 2025. So this is going to be an intuitive tarot reading, a general reading for a general Aquarius audience. So it's not quite the same as a one-to-one reading. Please take what resonates for you and just leave the rest. Oops, we're going to need a modesty crystal for that one. A couple of modesty crystals. YouTube does not like nudity, even if it's just illustrated. So I've got to cover up the kind of, hopefully that'll cover it. So this is an intuitive general reading for a general Aquarius audience. So I'll toss out a few examples of how the energies in these messages might apply, but not everything will apply to you. So take it as it resonates for you and leave what doesn't for the Aquarius it's meant for. I invite you to check out the videos for your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign. Those tend to be the most helpful and most resonant. But obviously, you're welcome to check out whatever videos you are drawn to. Let's pull your rune card here. So I've got the Star Maiden Tarot. I've got the Runes for Modern Life rune deck, and then the classic Wisdom of the Oracle deck. So let's pull your rune card. And it is, Othala. Nice, fitting for the season. And your Oracle card is Deep Knowing. Okay, so let's start with your rune, which is Othala. This is the heritage or legacy rune. This is all about what we inherit. This can be literal, like property or gifts, items, finances, wills, things you inherit in a will, that sort of legacy, something you get from your parents or grandparents, something like that. But it can also be things like traits, like red hair or anger management issues, alcoholism, things like that. Other themes that come up with this rune are looking ahead to the legacy that you are leaving, not just what you get from your parents or grandparents or sort of family line, but what you're leaving behind, your name, your legacy, especially for career-minded people. What does your what have you produced, or what is your career said about you? If you're not in a career, if that doesn't speak to you, or if that has not been your path, what will you leave for your family? Recipes or memories, or how will you be remembered? What maybe is it time to have children? Sometimes that's what you leave to the world. So certainly around the holidays, when we're spending so much time with family, there can be discussions about family wills, inheritances, recipes. It may be time for a family member to pass something on to you. It could be time to take over for a family member. It could be time to discuss what we need to do to help a family member, like if there's a member of the older generation that maybe needs to have the car keys taken away, or maybe to pass on the keys to the family restaurant to a new generation, or those sorts of conversations need to be had. Obviously take it as it resonates for you, Aquarius, but the theme of heritage and legacy is what this rune is speaking to. Now, your Wisdom of the Oracle card is Deep Knowing, which is all about intuition. It's kind of related to the High Priestess card, but it speaks to that intuition piece, trusting your intuition, knowing that when you get that feeling, when you meet someone and you just know they're going to be a significant part of your life, whether they're romantic or platonic or business. Sometimes you just get a feeling about someone you want to collaborate with, right? It could be any one of those areas. So trusting your intuition this month is going to be a theme too. So let's see how the theme of heritage and legacy and intuition show up in the tarot here. So looking at the first column, we have the Five of Wands paired with the Lovers. Now, obviously, the Lovers can be interpreted as relationships, right? A romantic relationship, especially if you're single and looking. The obvious interpretation of the Lovers card indicates the potential for a new romantic relationship, or a newish relationship going to the next level, or kind of reaching a new plateau, or could be the kind of thing where an established relationship hits a new level, or there's a concerted effort to rekindle a spark, or whatever it is. But the Lover's card doesn't just have to be about romantic relationships. The Lover's card can speak to any sort of social contracts we have in our life. So it can be speaking to platonic relationships, or business relationships, or work relationships in the workplace. Anytime where we're sort of consciously considering the sort of social contracts we're making, because there's always choices in relationships whenever we're committing to another person or persons. What are we bringing to the relationship, and what are we getting in exchange for what we bring? And there are times when or there are relations we have where the love is unconditional, right? But there are also relationships, and there are more relationships where there's really kind of a contractual piece to it, where we become aware that we have needs, and in exchange for what we bring to the relationship, we have needs that may need to be fulfilled. So sometimes in some relationships, of course, especially like if you're a parent, right? You just love unconditionally. But sometimes with a romantic relationship, you have to make choices about, I can love this person, but if I'm not getting certain needs met, maybe I can't stay in this contract. Or in a work relationship, I might love the parts of this job, but if the hours don't work, or if the benefits don't work, I might have to start looking somewhere else. Now, thinking about that, we see this card paired with the Five of Wands, which indicates some kind of chaos or ego issues, or a little bit of conflict or competition. This doesn't really tell us where this is happening in your life, Aquarius. So for different Aquarians watching this video, it could be in different parts of your life. It could be at the workplace. It could be a home environment. It could be within a romantic relationship that there's a little bit of competition or friction or sort of ego jockeying. And there could be a need to sort of negotiate or renegotiate sort of partnership goals, or just get on the same page about direction or, fairness, that sort of thing. Being clear about what is fair and, who we are and who we're going to be moving forward. There's great potential here. And the Five of Wands suggests there's also great passion here, because the Five of Wands does not show up without passion, without excitement, without, a sort of, ego involvement. But there's still the need to sort of work it out, to defer to wanting the connection to, or wanting the bond, right? I think you get what I'm saying with this. So I'm going to move on to the next column, because in the next column, we see the Ten of Cups, which is a happy, fruitful environment. The Ten of Cups speaks to an ending and a beginning. So it's kind of like reaching a satisfying, it's like the happy ending that brings you to like a new story or a new chapter. And cups are the suit of our feelings and our emotional connections. So it's feeling satisfied in a sort of emotional, or your connections, your emotional connections, that area of your life. Now we do have that paired with the Eight of Cups, which is the card of committing to something with without knowing sort of the happy ending piece. So that's a curious combination. We have, on one hand, we have a piece that has a happy ending, and we also have a piece that's like surrendering to an emotional awareness that you have, that it's often like knowing that you have to leave for something better, or you have to confess a depth of feeling, whether or not the other person feels the same way is not yet clear, or you have to maybe leave a job without having another job entirely lined up yet, or asking for a change of hours at a current workplace or something. It's knowing that you have some needs, or there's a piece that you have to have that you don't yet have resolved from another party, but you have to leave a current circumstance in order to find that missing piece. So the fact that these two are together, I'm not sure that they're happening in the same sort of area of your life. They could be, but you could be having a happy ending in one area, and then this other sort of leaving to find a happy ending in another area of your life. So take that as it resonates for you. Now, in the next column, we have, again, this could be two different sort of stories, because we have the Knight of Swords, which indicates a message coming in, a good news that you have to respond to, or that you have to take action on. Knights are typically messengers that have something that inspires change, something that a news or action that's going to affect your life. So this could be something like a job interview, or a job offer, or something along those lines. It could also be something legal, like a legal decision comes in, or it could be you need to negotiate something with an ex or something along those lines. A decision comes in your favor, and that changes maybe your living situation or something like that. It could be a raise or a change in your position at work, something like that. But this good news or whatever is happening here is paired with a card that indicates a person who is not aware that there is a gift on the way. So this really feels like, a part of this story. Like it's kind of like you have two stories happening. There's a storyline in your life where there's good news and evolution happening, and this other storyline where you're waiting for evolution, or you're waiting for something. The Four of Cups typically indicates a moment where you've kind of run through some options. Sorry for the glare. Where you've run through some options, or you've kind of worn out some opportunities that or you've outgrown a situation and you're sort of waiting for the next phase. It's on its way to you, but it's not yet here. Now, this story does feel different from this thing. So there's one thing that's winging its way to you. There's one thing that's still on its way, is what the cards are saying. Now, the final column we have here is great. This is probably the highlight of your December, is this sort of roughly the last week of December. The Strength card indicates a time when you are feeling confident, you are feeling secure, you are feeling whole within yourself. So even though this other thing has not yet found its way to you, or you have not yet recognized it, there's still enough going on in your life that you are feeling full and confident within yourself. There's also a lot of parties, or a party that you're looking forward to, and you really get to let your hair down. I can't show you this card because there's too much nudity in the artwork. But this is a celebration card. The Three of Cups is you getting together with your loved ones, your best friends. It could be multiple parties too. This could be, for those of you that are single and looking, this could be a date or a number of dates. You could be very popular at the end of the month if, for those of you for whom that applies. You could be very social at the end of the month, and you could be really feeling sort of beautiful and strong and magnetic. And, really, there is no better way to sort of end the year and start the next year. So despite the fact that there's still one little area where the situation is not yet fully resolved, you're still waiting for your sort of happy ending there. There's at least one storyline where you do get the change that you are looking for. And there's certainly a lot of amazing social activity should you choose to accept it. So I'm going to leave it there for you, Aquarius. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this reading, I invite you to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment if you would, in any case. Until next time, take good care. Bye for now.